was always about learning everything that life expected me to know. While I was in primary school, I received academic awards and I was a bold child who got involved in everything because I knew that I could balance everything and I could concentrate under any circumstances. I did some public speaking as an extracurricular activity. But then high school taught me a lesson. I got there as a top learner, but along the way I became average and then a person who fails in their academics. I failed my grade 10 in 2013 and that opened my eyes when coming to the way I viewed my academical life. For the first time in 2014, I had to study for
When I started school in Wamhlanga, I took isiNdebele as my home language, but when I got to grade 3, I had to change from isiNdebele to isiZulu. It was a huge struggle for me at first, but I got used to it and I enjoyed it as it helped me become multilingual. Through my educational journey since then, everything was okay until I got to university. Back in high school, I did not have computer access or a cell phone, so when I got to university, everything was done electronically from announcement to submitting assignments. It was tough for me, but it helped me to improve my computer skills.
The learning of English through the Word of God. To gain more literacy in the Bible, I was on my adolescent stage when I started to know the Lord as Savior through my parents since they were Christians. They brought me a Bible and I read it first day, but I could not understand even a single word because I was reading it as an ordinary book and it was written in parables. I used dictionaries and other resources to break up phrases, words, to understand it more clearly. My mother also played a very important role in my understanding in the Bible. Bible was an additional subject in my grade 10, which helped me build on habit and study the Bible even more. I asked questions while reading the Bible and I got answer in a loving spirit. My friends also corrected me when I was wrong during the class. The picture far right corner is the Word of God, which reminds me of my past principle which he used to quote for us in the assembly, Isaiah 25. Lord, you are good. I will exalt you and praise your name. For in perfection, faithfulness, you have done a wonderful things planned a long time ago. Again, the word of God told me how to be wise, live, respect other people. It also told me how to behave and have wisdom. The difficulties of English I was encountering reading Bible helped me improve my English subject at school. I was among top 10 learners who can read effectively in the whole school from grade 8 to 12. During my matric grade, I started engaging more in preaching to learners in assembly and classes. This caused my science subject, maths and physical science, to drop without realizing it. Teaching was a second choice of mine and I wanted to study engineering. But during the orientation, I had a word of motivation from other students who took teaching as a career, and I fell in love with it. Thanks given to the Bible which I got when I was young. I learned a lot from my parents, and their teaching motivate me to be a good teacher. In everything give thanks. This is the will of God concerning your success. This is the ways of my mother, since she always told me when I was in high school.
Years of education were the best for me because I was able to aim high and achieve my goals at that moment. I enjoy my foundation phase because there was no competition than in high school. Going to high school was a very important thing to me. That's why I find a moral of competition and we do things by the help of the teachers. There were only two subjects that I was interested in, which are accounting and business studies. When I got to varsity, that's where I met the challenges because they will use computers to access everything and I was not familiar to computers. But then I managed to get used to it and the competition is too much high. There's no time to relax because of a lot of work.
I grew up in a disadvantaged community or whereby there was no library at all. At a previous village whereby it was poor and my parents were not able to pay for me for the better school, so it becomes so hard for me to be library literacy because there was no way I can go for like to learn about library. But when I was at high school, it's whereby I started to be a library literacy because most of the assignment that I was supposed to done, it was supposed to be done at the library. And then when I came here at university, my library literacy, it went like it increased in a very high level because I was supposed to go to the library and there was a session of one of the module that it was all about the library and I learned a lot about library. I also learned about the method of how to research information in library. I think I'm done. My library literacy it started at high school, but it was in a poor level. The level of my library literacy increased here at university. It is whereby I started to get use of library staff and also discover that I can access to library online without going to the library myself. I also learned the different types of method to use when I research information online and also the difference between Google and the Google Scholar. And I also discovered that Google Scholar it is good for students to research information rather than the Google because it is more socially.